I wish that the summers of old could return. What am I saying? This past weekend in a few major cities, I had the feeling that the 6th anniversary of the death of George Floyd paired up with Memorial Day, of which the day he died back in the day. I kind of felt that it would be a barometer, so to speak, as to how our summer would go. I pray I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I tossed and turned in the bed last night, and this morning I got up around 6, got my herbs and my vitamins, and thought about how precious life is and how some folks don't realize just how precious it is, and they show it by their actions. I made a conclusion that this weekend, with these young people running around like they ain't got no blank sense. You saw the videos. I try not to do the videos. I try to shy away from it, but every now and then I gotta reach back and speak on it. And so I want to talk about what happened this past weekend. You see, because the Holy Spirit told me this one is for keeps. This one is for keeps. There has been a social plan, a operation, if you will, targeting the youth for generations in America. And I'm going to talk about the Black community mostly. Some folks might get in their feelings and say, well, you're not talking about white or other. I'm going to talk about mine because that's my experience. Although after 18 years old, I grew up in mixed neighborhoods, and God rest my mama's soul and thank her to have the vision to get the hell out of the south side of Chicago. Yeah, I said it. These danger zones, they're not good for good people. Everybody can't get out. Everybody don't recognize the hell that they in because they've been up in it so long, they think it's the normal. So they don't devise a plan. They die in it or they'll die from it. I would say today, if you're in the ghettos of any of these big cities, get yourself a few good friends, put your money together, and get yourself a nice 1-bedroom in an area where you can grow and develop. Because see, people, I had to come to the realization in the late 90s, early 2000s, that yeah, Dr. King had a dream, and there were Black people from around the United States and the world. And I'm not saying they were the best of leaders. A lot of them were compromised. And those organizations, which I have talked about in a lot of videos, were hijacked. But I'm talking about the actual heart of the dream, to let your truth be self-evident, to be the best person that you can be, irregardless of color or background. Baby, everybody ain't sharing your dream. Everybody's not sharing the conviction to go to school and figure out what it is that they're good at. Look around at their aunt, their cousin, their nephew, and their uncle or mother and father, and try to figure out all the beautiful characteristics that they have and the talents that grandmother and grandfather had. There's a gene pool in your lineage. If your uncle was a carpenter, the odds are somebody in that lineage is going to be a carpenter or could have a skill to be that. Same thing with a doctor or a lawyer or engineer. Whatever they are, the odds are you'll be pretty good at it. My dad was into music. He spoke poetry. My mom had a PhD in biochemistry. So I have an analytical mind, yet I'm creative in the arts as well. You're going to reflect that. These neighborhoods that we grow up in, sometimes they can squash that dream. And so, at some point, you got to come to a realization and say, you know what? I've spent 10, 15, 20 years working on the civil rights movement or doing beautiful things for my community, but I'm not living. All I do is fight. But this community is fighting and beating me up. I got to get out. I don't blame a person. I don't blame a person from getting out of the community. I used to look at it a different way, but I don't blame them now. In retrospect, my mother did the right thing. I grew up around 4 or 5 different gangs. The Babylonian Pimps, the Pygmeats, the leader of the Blackstone Ranger. You heard me. The leaders of the Blackstone Ranger lived in my building. I was surrounded around gangs. Now, don't get it twisted. All gang members wasn't bad. They did a lot of positive things for the community. They started a lot of positive programs for Chicago. So many times you only see the bad side. But these gangs were infiltrated. I tell a story of a meeting that I went to when I was a budding journalist on the south side of Chicago. There was a big meeting on the south side of Chicago in a church. And all the major gangs from Los Angeles, I believe New York, and from Chicago. I've told the story before. When I say biceps, the biceps were like this. These gang members, they all met at the church and they had a truce. And it worked for a while. And all of a sudden the gang banging came back. I lived in a period of Dr. King. I lived in a period of Malcolm X. I lived in a period of beautiful Black women who had voice and were trying to get it done. And there are still a million of us still out here, but we don't get the props. We're not being heard. The media doesn't want us to be heard. They squashed that damn dream. Many of you all know that I was youth minister at Operation Push under Reverend Jesse Jackson. My mother worked at Operation Push. My godmother, Reverend Taplett Barrow, in my mind, she was the vice president of Operation Push. They gave me my start doing public speaking as early, I think 16, 17 years old. Here I am speaking to youth, motivating the youth. The thunderous voice I grew up under, Keep Hope Alive by Jesse Jackson. And although I didn't agree with everything he said, I didn't have a dad, so he was instrumental in that image that I needed to keep me focused and keep my butt off them streets with them daggone gangs. I remember when Jesse Jackson called a meeting with all the major radio and TV stations from around the United States, and they made a pledge to not play any more rap music. No more music talking about women are B's and H's. No more gangster rap. I often think about if you turned off the music and read the lyrics, would you walk down the street saying that? Well, in this generation, I do see kids on the bicycle walking down the street. In fact, kids of all colors, you've probably seen it too, rapping this nonsense, not knowing that the most powerful force on the planet is the word. It was the word that created everything. God didn't move one muscle. He spoke all the beauty into existence. And now we're taking it through a lot of this negative rap music and gangster rap and drill rap. We're killing the earth that we put our feet on. We stupid. And somebody got to say it. So let me show you a few videos and I'm going to get back on my soapbox. I say in the spirit of love. Maybe we can save a few here.
Now from Fox, we want to shift gears here a bit and talk about some of the trends that we're seeing across the country here. I do want to bring this up on your screen here. And what you're looking at is this viral teen takeover movement here that we are seeing across the country. And I just want to give you a little bit of background of what we're seeing, as from upscale waterfront neighborhoods to malls, parks, and packed restaurants, viral teen takeovers are erupting across the country, with police responding to fights, robberies, vandalism, and gunfire as massive crowds of juveniles overwhelm public spaces. And you can see that we have 4 boxes there of these teen takeovers in Chicago, Florida, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta, Georgia. So what we want to do now is bring in our next guest onto the program here.
Learned from Chicago police that they arrested 53 people, many of whom are facing felonies or disorderly conduct. They also recovered 9 weapons. We're here at 55th and Cornell, which is where 3 teens were shot. Just 2 blocks over is where a neighbor saw several teens surrounding her car, as well as others. 2 more blocks over, you have 57th Street Beach, which is exactly where the teen takeover started.
This is a teen takeover, and they better not touch my car, and I mean it.
Gilda Norris was livid when she saw hundreds of teens on 55th and Everett in Hyde Park surrounding her car.
I saw them going around my car, and my neighbor, they were jumping on his car. So that's why I went outside, sat in my car, turned on the lights to keep them from destroying my car.
Norris also recorded as soon as she got in her car.
This is ridiculous. You have no idea. My camera's not even doing it justice, because I'm sitting in my car so they won't tear up my car.
Alderman Desmond Yancey of the 5th Ward says this all started at 57th Street Beach. Here you can see a chaotic scene of teens running for an undetermined reason. A source sent us this video where you can see officers on top of a teenager, tasing and choking.
It's over with, y'all. I'm not knocking any person or any organization that's trying, or people who are donating money, and organizations that are putting their time in for the youth, especially black. I'm not knocking you. I salute you. Again, my mom did the right thing. When I was about 22, 23, I joined KFC restaurants. I managed restaurants not too far from that area. Been shot at. I've had multiple robberies in my restaurants. My cooks pistol whipped. People strung out on dope, getting high in the bathroom. It's no way to grow up. If you can deal with it, I salute you. I couldn't anymore. I had to go to the hospital. The doctor wanted to give me a pill around this size. I call it a horse pill. My mom, bless her heart, she came to my rescue. I was done. I had nightmares for years. When a bullet goes by your head, you ain't the same. I ain't no punk. But I realized everybody not sharing my dream. So I grew up in white suburbs after 17, 18 years old. But then I came back and I worked in the city. Big mistake. And you trying to convert and live a good life. The environment won't let you. It will kill you. And I'm sure y'all got cousins and nephews and friends and family who got mentally injured or died in these hell zones. Let me touch on some stuff. This is a well-oiled social plan that started back in the late 50s and 60s. It can be argued and say it started back in slavery. I'm not gonna get into that. Hold tight. I could spend hours going through documentary about social planning, not just on blacks, and not just international, not just on the national front, but the international front. How the relationships between blacks and blacks around the world. The powers don't want us to have international relationships with blacks around the world so we can grow as a group. We're targeted. A lot of folks don't want you to know that. Remember, this one's for the keeps. I said this is a barometer. This is the last hurrah. We en route to the new world order. So the powers need all the work that was done on black society, whether it's music, whether it's drug habits, social gangs. They have to be at their maximum, at their ultimate now, to destroy the social fabric of America. And other cultures join it. That's what they want. I'm not saying we're the only ones. What I'm saying is that we're a big part of this thing. And we don't understand how we're being used. We talk about white folks this and other races doing this. You know what? We know racism still exists, but you can make up your mind you want to be somebody in America, you can. So cut the racist crap and get up off your butt and make something happen. I'm telling you from somebody with experience. When an employer gives you an opportunity, you look the part. Shoes shine, pull your pants up, put on a belt, talk like you got some sense, look like you got some sense, come in early, sometimes stay late, play the game, learn multiple skills. Stop hanging around with these other people who taking you down, because at some point, when you hang around the wrong environment, many times it wins. There are countless stories of good black men and good black women who hung around the wrong people and they wind up being consumed by it. You think about what I'm saying. I'm talking from experience. The lady got to go sit in her car to keep them from destroying it. Where the hell are the black men at? Where are they at? Oh, Pearson, the young ones are out there, they acting a fool. Women on top of the cars twerking. The brothers on top of the cars, they twerking. If you don't value what you have, how do you expect to go as a group to others to say, let me participate in the dream? 1 and 1 make 2 all day. We gotta have this conversation. A black lady in her own neighborhood, when I grew up in a white neighborhood, white men are coming out in the street like, it ain't happening. Put it in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking from experience. We gotta have these hard conversations. In my multiracial neighborhood, majority white, you not gonna pull off this crap. The white men are coming out. They got their kids under control. Now, I can't speak for now, but I know in the majority of white suburbs in Illinois, that's not gonna happen. So I'm speaking from experience. Don't get into your feelings. Deal with it. This one's for keeps. This one go all the way back to the 60s. Listen to me. This happened. You got the gangs, you got the George Floyd situation, you got Memorial Day. You think some of these people aren't paid off? They're using the cell phone to get in touch with certain people, maybe like 100, maybe 1,000. And they're getting out there on the beaches in any major city or certain area, certain mall. And these other stupid kids, they running with them, not knowing that these other young kids are agents working for the social planners. That's how it go. Because we stupid, we dumb. We dumb, we don't understand social engineering. We don't understand a war. The war is on us. They need the young people to act the fool. I told you it's a barometer. So when they go into the new world order and they start cracking heads, they can say, well, look, we gotta meet you at the level you at. Do you understand? So they got to crack some heads. And all y'all out here selling dope, you better get out the dope game right now. Because America figured it out. 5-6 years ago, LA, Chicago, New York, they selling drugs through the dispensaries. They the new drug dealer. When they come in with the cashless society, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna have a job. They got plans for you. Somebody gotta say it this morning. The powers that be start selling drugs through dispensaries in all these major cities. They're the new drug pen. They're the kingpin. And y'all still out here selling drugs? Don't want to go to school? Got a felony on your back? And the country is downsizing? I got a video I just watched the other day. They just showed a video of Amazon the other day. Put it in the chat if you've seen it. They got a robot that worked for 22 straight hours at Amazon. The robot is taking your job even at Amazon. If you got a robot working 24 hours a day, they don't need you. But you out here selling drugs. Not understanding what time it is. You got to go get a job now. Because we're going to wake up one day with a cashless society and all you've been doing is slinging drugs. What you going to do in a new economic society? You done. And all you stupid women running with them, you done too. And they know it. I did security in Chicago for 19 years. I've been in the 911 center. They got monitors the size of a car. They been knowing what you doing. They allow you to do it. So when they pull it all together, they're going to come straight to you. Knock, knock, let's go. They got you already in the system. Telling y'all it's a social plan. They need idiots. But I love you. But they need you to be an idiot. Anybody know anything about the history of Chicago? Fred Hampton, he dead. Dr. King, he dead. Malcolm X, he did. Any white person, they call him a liberal, that was for our cause, they did. They created the projects. They told the folks in the projects, look, black woman, you don't need your man. You can have all this money, a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom, but you can't have no man. That's social engineering. So your kids can be raised by the system. And now your woman is so independent, she don't need you. And now you run around here because you see the Superfly movie. You heard me. Now you see the Superfly movie because that's the crap that they put out there in cinema. You want to be a boys in the hood and a thug and sell the drugs and fill up the prison. They've been making money off our foolishness for decades, but now it's for keeps. They're about to bring in the new world order. All the damage that you've done over the generations, it's a wrap. You're going to pay for it. And I got to be careful when I go out in the street. So I try to dress like this. So when they pull over, it's Mr. Pearson. I'm suffering the consequences of your stupid actions. And don't let me go in my old community. I would get robbed today. And you talking about you got a dream? You good, brother, you good? No, I'm not good. I don't even feel safe. And I'm black. And you want to follow all these dumb rappers who can't even put a logical sentence together. God is allowing you to have your freedom. But when you're irresponsible, Satan takes it. It's a trap. Modern day barometer for the New World Order. If you don't value what you got, it won't last. On the south side of Chicago, we had aldermen pushing for millions of dollars of redevelopment for housing, business development. I was a part of business development program back in the day. with a few aldermen back in the day. The lakefront was garbage back in the day. Now it's beautiful. Now look at them. They're tearing up the lakefront. There's a difference between the north side of Chicago lakefront and the south side. When we get over there, we act a fool and tear it up. And you want to be respected as a black community. And I ain't speaking for all. I'm just dealing with the YNs, as they call them. But I'm trying to put it in perspective. Yeah, Ronald Reagan, allegedly the president of the United States, he had a meeting with the folks back in the day, and they brought the drugs from overseas and put them in LA and New York and Chicago so they could then make money and then buy the Contra rebels guns and ammunition to fight war. Yeah, everybody know that story. What was his name? Gary? Just look him up. Gary, he broke the story. I forget his name. God bless him. Good journalist. When journalism was journalism. Gary, I forget his name. But anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. Fill it in the blank. People, I just want to get this off my chest this morning. There has been a social experiment on my people. Even on whites and others, but I'm talking about my people. And the majority of us have fell for the okie doke. You wonder why I'm single? When I try to date my own, the sisters, even the educated sisters, got degrees. You're hanging around with thugs. And so now your girlfriends don't like me. So now you choose your girlfriends and your family over me. You don't even want nothing good sometimes. I say sometimes, don't get upset with me. I'm talking about my experience. And I'm talking about other black men, how we feel. We try to make a black community through another black woman. But even a certain percentage of them been thugged out. Thugged out. And some of them is even in church. I'm talking about my experience. So it's hard for me to find a sister that's thinking about family because she want to run with the thugs. Somebody got to say it. That's why I'm telling you. And I'm going to end like this. Don't get into your feelings. What I'm telling you is true. So a lot of black men like us and a lot of black women, because I'm going to flip it psychologically. A lot of black women can't find a good black man because he's thugged out. And he in church and he's still thugged out. Or he got the felony and he can't get a good job now. This is the result of falling for the okie doke. And now we entrapped. And that was the goal. So now in this generation, this is what you get. You get them in all the major cities at any given time. And this just Memorial Day. You can imagine what's going to happen on 4th of July. It's like we breed it. And the whole plan was made generations ago for this moment. Because this one's for keeps. It's a barometer. And they sitting back saying, yeah, the social plan is working. We use the black community mainly to thug out and socially degenerate America and influence it. The statistics are out there. They say white folks equally or more buy purchase rap music than any other group. You heard me. White folks buy the rap music more than our own. That's the last statistic I read. People, don't get thugged out. You don't have to be cool like that, whatever that means. I just told you from my experience, it's a problem. And again, I'm gonna say it again because I know folks gonna get into their feelings. How can you say that as a black man about black women? I didn't say all black women. I say at least 50% that I have encountered. Thugged out. You got a degree, you invested in yourself, and you came back home and you laid up with a thug. Or you're hanging around your thug girlfriends. Because you still want to be part of the black YN culture. Come on. If it's anything I learned when I was in college, especially when I was at divinity school, a lot of them young girls, they might play that game on the weekend, but when they went back home, they knew how to act in front of mama and daddy. They turned that crap off. And when they went out into society, when they had their first job, they left that thug stuff alone. That's right, the Caucasian, the Indian girls, the Japanese girls, they left that crap alone because they realized, look, we played that game in college, in high school, now the real world. Mama and daddy, I can't shame mama and daddy. I cannot shame mama and daddy. I can't shame mama and daddy. I got a heritage. They done invested in me. I gotta act like I got some sense in corporate America. And I'm not saying that some blacks didn't figure it out. I'm just saying, look at the screen. What you see? 99.9% black. God help us.